Hi, I'm Tori.
And I'm Juliet.
And we're students at the Indiana County Technology Center. And we're here to tell you a little bit about our mission to create a wonderful life in Indiana County.
But we can't do it alone. Will you help us?
Before you say yes, let us explain a little more. If you're anything like us, you may have noticed that sometimes the world can seem unfair, mean, sad, and just all around nasty at times.
Maybe you've seen people being bullied or even have been bullied yourself.
You stink!
Or maybe there was a time that you told a little lie that got you into big trouble.
It may sound silly, and some of these things may sound small and unimportant, but these are the things that feed negativity. Things like lying, making fun of people, being mean, cruel, and wicked destroy good feelings.
That brings us to our mission. We want to destroy negativity, one good deed at a time. We want to live in a good, fun, loving, and happy world, don't you? Throughout this video, you're going to hear the word character being used a lot.
Having good character means that you are compassionate. It means you are responsible for your words and actions. It means you are respectful and you care about people.
Do you recognize this guy? Or maybe you've heard his voice on the streets of downtown Indiana.
This is Jimmy Stewart, North 7th Street walk sign.
Well, let us introduce you.
A man we all love and admire.
Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart's decency, strength, and kindness is evident in every film he made.
Jimmy used to live in Indiana. He was a celebrity, a movie star, a veteran, and most importantly, he was one of the nicest guys around. There's a lot we can learn from Jimmy.
So we invited Jimmy and his friend Harvey to show us what it means to have good character.
Hi everybody. Since I'm a bunny, I don't normally say much, but I'm always there to make sure that kids like you make good decisions. You might recognize this guy, or maybe you've heard his voice before. His name is Jimmy Stewart, and he is my best friend. Jimmy Stewart is a good guy and always tried to make the best decisions, but sometimes he faces hard decisions that test him. Have you ever been in a situation like that? Maybe you found $1 and your belly told you to buy a snack, but your heart told you to find the person that lost it. Following your heart is a sign of good character. Let's look at all the different ways that Jimmy has shown good character. One of these ways was always being respectful to others. In this movie, Jimmy plays a senator who is fighting for his beliefs and what's right, while surrounded by dishonesty and greed.
This is no place for you. You're halfway decent. You don't belong here. Now go home.
If you like being a senator, there's no reason why you can't come back to that Senate and stay there as long as you want to.
You mean you tell these men and Senator Payne what to do?
Oh, yes. Joe Payne has been taking my advice for the past 20 years.
You're a liar. Just a simple guy, you said, still wet behind the ears. A lot of junk about American ideals. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of junk, all right.
You didn't just have faith in Payne or any other living man. You had faith in something bigger than that. You had plain, decent, everyday, common rightness. And this country could use some of that. Yeah, so could the whole cockeyed world. A lot of it.
I tried to say them once before and I got stopped colder than a mackerel. Well, I like to get them said this time, sir. And as a matter of fact, I'm not going to leave this body until I do get them said. In other words, I've got a piece to speak. And blow hot or cold, I'm going to speak it. Because I wouldn't give you 2 cents for all your fancy rules if behind them they didn't have a little bit of plain, ordinary, everyday kindness. And a little looking out for the other fella, too.
Love thy neighbor. And in this world today full of hatred, a man who knows that one rule has a great trust. You know that rule, Mr. Payne. And I loved you for it just as my father did.
Being respectful is an important part of having good character. but having respect for yourself is just as important. Always stand up for what you believe in. Sometimes, people may not always agree with your opinion, but just remember, that's still okay. Everyone has different beliefs and values, which make us all different in our own ways. Be open to new ideas, and remember to see the best in everyone. Another trait of good character is responsibility. In one of my favorite movies, Jimmy shows responsibility in a lot of different ways, with a little help from his imaginary friend, yours truly.
Now, this person that you call Harvey, now who is he?
He's a rabbit.
He's a puka.
A puka?
But Harvey's not only a puka, he's also my best friend. Oh, if Harvey said to me once, I'll bet he said, oh, probably 1,000,000 times. He said, Mr. Dowd, I would do anything for you. We must be more careful. After you.
Mr. Dowd, you haven't peeled yet.
Oh, no, and I regret this, Miss Dunphy, but Miss Kelly here seems to want me to go with her. Miss Kelly, you met Miss Dunphy?
Yes, of course.
Well, I want both of you to meet a very dear...
Seems there's been a mistake. Just forget everything.
I have a suggestion. Why don't I do what she wants and then go with you?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Dowd.
All right, well, goodbye, my dear. You know, years ago, my mother used to say to me, she'd say, in this world, Elwood, you must be, she always called me Elwood. In this world, Elwood, you must be oh so smart or oh so pleasant. Well, for years I was smart. I recommend pleasant. And you may quote me.
Beautiful day.
Oh, every day is a beautiful day. An element of conflict in any discussion is a very good thing. It shows everybody's taking part, nobody left out. I like that.
Responsibility means doing what is asked of you. It shows how reliable you are to get the job done. Responsibility is also admitting when you are wrong, and being open to constructive criticism. This brings us to compassion. Have you ever heard of something called the Golden Rule? I bet you have. The Golden Rule is what compassion is all about. Put yourself in another person's shoes. As an example, let's step into Jimmy Stewart's shoes for a moment. In this film, Jimmy's character learns that having compassion and helping others is what really makes life worth living.
What is it you want, Barry? What do you want? You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down. Hey, that's a pretty good idea. I'll give you the moon, Mary.
I'll take it.
Hey, that's pretty good. What'd you wish, Mary?
Remember the night we broke the windows in this old house? This is what I wished for.
You're wonderful. All right, now, Miss Thompson, how much do you want?
But it's your own money,
Now,
George.
never mind about that. How much do you want now?
I can get along with 20, all right.
$20, fine.
And I'll sign the
Yeah,
papers.
you don't have to sign anything. I know you. You pay when you can. That's okay. My father was no businessman. I know that. Why he ever started this cheap penny-ante building and loan, I'll never know. But neither you nor anybody else can say anything against his character because his whole life was... Why, in the 25 years since he and Uncle Billy started this thing, he never once thought of himself. Isn't that right, Uncle Billy? He didn't save enough money to send Harry to school, let alone me. But he did help a few people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And what's wrong with that? Well, here, you're all businessmen here. Doesn't it make them better citizens? Doesn't it make them better customers? You said that what'd you say just a minute ago? They had to wait and save their money before they even thought of a decent home? Wait for what? Until their children grow up and leave them? Until they're so old and broken down that you know how long it takes a working man to save $5,000? Just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're talking about, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him, but to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. Well, in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building and loan.
I know very well what you're talking about. You're talking about something you can't get your fingers on, and it's galling you. That's what you're talking about, I know. Mr. and Mrs. Martini, welcome home.
Bread, that this house may never know hunger. Salt, that life may always have flavor.
And wine, that joy and prosperity may reign forever. Enter the Martini Castle. Give the flower a drink. Now, will you do something for me? Will you try and get some sleep?
I'm not sleepy. I want to look at my flower.
I know, but you just go to sleep. And then you can dream about it. And it'll be a whole garden.
It will.
Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. And when he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he?
Kids, Janie, Tommy. Let me look at you. Oh, I could eat you up.
George.
Hey, George, you got the factory all left out of it. Here's some beautiful for you.
I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it wasn't for you, George.
To my big brother, George, the richest man in town.
That's a Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. Attaboy, Clarence.
Compassion helps you show generosity and love to the people who need it the most. So there we go. We have respect, responsibility, and compassion. What else do you think makes a person have good character? Do you have what it takes to be like Jimmy Stewart?
We love how one person can make a huge difference in the lives of so many people.
You know, all it takes is one act of kindness to start a chain reaction.
But it all starts with you. If each one of you were to perform one act of kindness each and every day, just imagine how wonderful your school would be.
Now imagine if all the kids in the county did the same thing, or if all the kids in the world did it.
You see, that's why we need your help to make our dream become a reality. Your teacher will give each of you a special wristband to remind you to have good character just like Jimmy.
Every time you look at it, be reminded of how you can make a difference.
If your teacher witnesses you showing good character throughout the month of December, they can nominate you for a chance to become recognized for your character. And out of the 10 students recognized, one will be awarded Character Ambassador for their school. The Character Ambassador and their parents will be invited to a private viewing of It's a Wonderful Life at the Jimmy Stewart Museum in January. Remember, we can't do this alone. Let's continue where Jimmy left off and build a wonderful life in Indiana County.
International superstar, and his movies have become timeless images of the American way of life. Yet Jimmy Stewart never strayed from the values of his youth. He grew larger than life by being down to earth, playing the everyman as the leading man.
How would you like to be remembered?
Bob, a guy that believed in hard work and decent values, and love of country, love of family, love of community, love of God.
Well, I think you embody all of those things. And thank you for your wonderful life from us.